Picture this: you awaken one fateful morning, gripped by a chilling awareness that the life you've been leading is a mere illusion, a facade crafted by the insidious hands of societal expectations and unseen forces. Every choice you've made, every belief you cling to, and even the yearnings that stir within you may not stem from your true essence, but rather from the suffocating grip of the world around you. Consider this unsettling thought: how much of your identity is a genuine reflection of who you are, and how much is a meticulously crafted disguise molded by external pressures? Do you often feel as though you're merely an actor, reciting lines from a script penned by society, your upbringing, or the haunting fears that lurk in the shadows of your mind? Today, we delve into one of Carl Jung's most haunting revelations: the notion that life remains dormant until you unearth your true self. But what does it truly mean to find oneself? Is it simply about achieving self-awareness? Or is there a darker, more transformative journey that lies beneath? Stay close, for as we peel back the layers of the hidden forces that shape your identity, you will come to understand why so many remain lost in the labyrinth of their own making, and how you can shatter those chains. The final truth we will confront is the most potent of all. It holds the power to not only alter your perception of yourself, but to fundamentally change the way you interact with the world around you. Carl Gustav Jung was a trailblazer in depth psychology, a thinker who transcended conventional theories of the mind to delve into the expansive hidden territories of the unconscious. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Jung did not view mental well-being as merely conforming to societal standards. Rather, he perceived psychological development as a journey toward individuation, the process of becoming one's truest self. However, the truth is that most individuals never embark on this journey. They remain ensnared in a version of themselves molded by external factors. They live in accordance with expectations, seldom questioning whether their lives genuinely reflect their true selves. They seek affirmation from the outside world, convinced that happiness stems from approval, success, or fitting in. Yet, beneath the surface, there exists a quiet discontent, an undeniable feeling that something is lacking. Jung posited that authentic life begins when we cease fleeing from ourselves. However, before we can discuss what it truly means to discover oneself, we must first comprehend what hinders most people from achieving this. From the moment we enter the world, we are conditioned. We are assigned names, identities, and predetermined roles. We learn what is deemed acceptable and what is not, what is rewarded and what is punished. This conditioning is so subtle and gradual that we seldom question it. We adapt, we conform, and over time, we learn to stifle parts of ourselves that do not align with the expectations imposed upon us. Reflect on your childhood for a moment. Were there times when you tried to express your true feelings, only to be met with disapproval? Maybe you were told to be more realistic, to stop being overly sensitive, or that certain emotions and desires were simply unacceptable. Gradually, you learned to conceal those parts of yourself, hiding them away where no one could find them. In doing so, you began to craft a mask, what Jung referred to as the persona. This persona is the facade we show the world. It helps us navigate society, build relationships, and seek acceptance. Yet, therein lies the sorrow. The more we cling to this mask, the further we drift from our authentic selves. We start to believe that we are nothing more than the persona, losing sight of the deeper essence that lies beneath. Then, there's the other side, the shadow. While the persona is what we reveal, the shadow is what we keep hidden. It encompasses everything we have denied or buried within ourselves. Our fears, unvoiced desires, vulnerabilities, and even our untapped strengths. The troubling truth is that the shadow doesn't simply fade away. It doesn't disappear just because we choose to ignore it. Instead, it lurks beneath the surface, subtly shaping our thoughts, actions, and emotional responses. The parts of ourselves we reject remain, surfacing in unconscious ways, often manifesting as projection. This realization can be a heavy burden, reminding us of the parts we've lost along the way. Have you ever found yourself harboring a deep-seated dislike for someone, even when the reason eludes you? Have you ever felt a surge of emotion triggered by certain behaviors in others, as if they were pulling at a hidden wound? Jung proposed that our discomfort with certain traits in others often stems from the fact that those very traits reside within us, buried deep in our own shadow. But what if I told you that, within this shadow lies the path to genuine self-discovery? The aspects of yourself that you've pushed away and neglected are not your foes. They are the essential fragments of your completeness. The profound realization was this: psychological growth isn't about banishing the shadow. It's about embracing it. It's about delving into the dark corners of your unconscious and confronting what you've long denied, for in doing so, you unlock a wellspring of personal strength, authenticity, and liberation. This is where the true journey begins, yet it is fraught with discomfort. Are you prepared to face the reality of who you are? To shatter the illusions that have defined you? Because what lies ahead will challenge every belief you hold about yourself, and it will open the door to a life that is authentically yours, albeit one that may feel lonely and daunting. Most people drift through life convinced they understand their identity, defining themselves by their name, their occupation, their culture, and their past. But what if I told you that your true identity is far more intricate and sorrowful than you ever imagined? What if the self you think you know is merely a fragile facade, a sliver of a far more sinister and profound reality? Carl Jung posited that within each person lies a shadowy realm, a sprawling, intricate inner landscape teeming with forgotten memories, repressed emotions, unacknowledged desires, and dormant potential. The path to truly discovering yourself does not lie in fabricating a new identity, but in unearthing the dark secrets buried deep within. Take a moment to ponder, have you ever felt an unsettling, inexplicable yearning for something beyond your grasp? A haunting sense that a more formidable version of yourself lurks just beneath the surface, waiting to be unleashed? This is not mere fantasy. It is the whisper of your unconscious beckoning you toward a darker truth. Jung termed this unsettling journey individuation. He believed that genuine fulfillment arises not from succumbing to societal pressures, but from embracing every facet of our being, the light, the shadow, the beautiful, and the grotesque. Yet, before we can weave these elements into a cohesive whole, we must first confront the darkness within, and this is where most falter. Why? Because facing the abyss of your own soul is a harrowing endeavor. It demands that you gaze into the depths of your psyche, confronting the aspects of yourself you have long chosen to ignore. It compels you to scrutinize the beliefs you've clung to for so long, to face your fears head-on, and to wrestle with the inner turmoil that has defined your existence. Consider this: how often do we flee from silence? How frequently do we bury ourselves in work, social media, or mindless entertainment, all to escape the haunting solitude of our own thoughts? This relentless distraction is no mere coincidence. It serves as a shield, a way to evade the unsettling questions that lurk just beneath the surface. Yet, no matter how fervently we try to suppress them, these shadowy facets of ourselves refuse to vanish. They manifest in unexpected and often sinister ways through crippling anxiety, self-sabotage, hollow relationships, or an ever-present sense of being adrift in a dark abyss. Jung posited that our unconscious mind is perpetually whispering to us, but we have become adept at ignoring its ominous calls. However, if we dare to listen, we begin to discern unsettling patterns. We start to recognize how our deepest scars dictate our choices, how our repressed desires twist our actions, and how the very fears we dread the most often conceal the most profound lessons. Take, for instance, the paralyzing fear of rejection. Countless souls wander through life, haunted by the specter of judgment and abandonment. They crave approval, sidestep conflict, and stifle their true selves to maintain a fragile facade of harmony. But where does this dread originate? Is it truly about the perceptions of others, or does it run deeper, rooted in ancient wounds, childhood traumas, moments when they felt invisible or unworthy? The answers may lie in the shadows, waiting to be unearthed. Jung would contend that this fear transcends mere emotion. It embodies a shadowy fragment of the self that lurks in the depths, unacknowledged and festering. Until it is dragged into the light, it will manipulate your actions from the dark corners of your mind. But here lies the chilling truth: when we confront these concealed aspects of ourselves, they relinquish their grip on us. Picture, if you dare, a life unshackled by the dread of judgment, where you can voice your truth without faltering, making choices not dictated by the expectations of others, but resonating with the very core of your being. This is the haunting power of individuation. It is not about crafting a new identity. It is about peeling back the layers to reveal the essence of who you truly are. But how do we embark on this unsettling journey? How do we unearth the unconscious forces that dictate our existence? Jung posited that one of the most potent pathways to the unconscious lies in symbols, dreams, and deep introspection. He perceived dreams as cryptic messages from the depths of our being, unveiling the hidden truths of our psyche. He also underscored the significance of creative expression, art, writing, music, and other forms of self-exploration, as vital means to access and integrate the shadowy recesses of the mind. Yet, perhaps the most crucial step is this awareness. The instant you begin to interrogate your thoughts, your reactions, and your most entrenched beliefs, you are already treading the path toward transformation. The moment you cease fleeing from discomfort and instead confront it with a sense of curiosity, you start to reclaim the essence of your true self. Here's the reality: many individuals drift through life as strangers to their own essence. They tread the paths set before them, unaware that they possess the power to forge a different way. When you finally confront discomfort instead of fleeing from it, you begin to reclaim the fragments of your true self. Yet, the sad truth remains: countless people suppress their authentic nature, oblivious to the fact that their greatest strength lies in embracing every part of who they are. But you need not be among them. You hold the power to break free from the illusions that have confined you, to peel away the layers of conditioning and fear that have prevented you from truly living, to step into the fullness of your being, unafraid and unapologetic. In the next part, we will delve into something even deeper: the hidden archetypes within you. These ancient patterns, buried within your psyche, may hold the key to unlocking your greatest potential. What you are about to discover could alter your perception of yourself forever. If the journey to self-discovery were as straightforward as making a choice, everyone would already be living in harmony with their true selves. Yet, as we have seen, the path is far more intricate and often filled with sorrow. It's not merely about selecting who we wish to become. It's about peeling back the layers of darkness that have molded us, confronting the shadows we've cast aside, and weaving them into a cohesive, genuine self. But ponder this: what compels us toward certain actions, cravings, or terrors? Why do we find ourselves ensnared in the same traps, repeating our blunders, even as we strive for change? Carl Jung offered a chilling insight. He posited that within each of us lie universal patterns, deep-seated psychological blueprints that manipulate our thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways we scarcely comprehend. He termed these patterns archetypes. Jung contended that archetypes are ancient, collective images lurking in what he called the collective unconscious, a shadowy realm of the psyche shared by all humanity, inherited from the haunting experiences of our forebears. These archetypes mold our identities, our connections, and even our perceptions of reality. Reflect on the tales spun throughout the ages. The hero's journey, the wise mentor, the lurking villain, the innocent child. These figures are not mere fabrications. They embody the psychological forces that dwell within us all. And whether we acknowledge it or not, these archetypes are ceaselessly at work in our lives. Take, for instance, the hero archetype. This is the fragment of you that yearns for meaning, that feels an unsettling call to something far more profound. It is that part of you that yearns to rise above challenges, to become stronger, and to reach a more refined version of yourself. Yet, this aspect never stands alone. It is forever shadowed by the darker side of your being. The shadow, as we've previously explored, embodies the repressed and concealed elements of who you are. It harbors your fears, your vulnerabilities, and even the potential you have yet to realize. In tales of old, the hero must face this shadow, often depicted as a monstrous foe or a formidable trial, before they can truly transform. Now, let's reflect on our own lives. Have you ever experienced a moment when you felt the urge to change, but something deep within you resisted? A time when the chance to embrace a better version of yourself slipped away, held back by fear, doubt, or self-sabotage. This internal struggle is the silent war between the hero and the shadow that rages within you. Many make the grave error of trying to bury the shadow rather than seeking to understand it. Jung posited that genuine transformation occurs when we embrace the shadow, not by casting it aside, but by learning from its lessons. Consider, for instance, your battles with self-doubt. Instead of dismissing it or pretending it's not there, Jung would urge you to explore its origins. Where does this self-doubt stem from? Is it truly yours? Or has it been instilled in you by past experiences, societal pressures, or the echoes of others? What wisdom does it carry? Could it be that lurking within your doubt lies a concealed power, perhaps in the form of humility, introspection, or the unsettling ability to perceive the world through various lenses? When we start to view our struggles not as frailties, but as ominous whispers from the depths of our unconscious, everything shifts. Yet, archetypes extend far beyond the familiar hero and shadow. There are darker forces within us, each playing a sinister role in the tapestry of our identity. Among the most formidable are the anima and animus archetypes. Jung posited that within every man dwells a hidden feminine essence, the anima, and within every woman, a concealed masculine spirit, the animus. These are not merely reflections of physical gender, but rather the haunting balance of energies that reside within. The anima embodies intuition, emotion, creativity, and a profound connection to the unconscious, while the animus signifies logic, structure, discipline, and assertiveness. When these two forces are harmonized, a person feels complete. However, when they spiral into chaos, inner turmoil erupts. For instance, a man who shuns his anima may find himself ensnared in a web of emotional repression, viewing vulnerability as a treacherous weakness. Conversely, a woman who denies her animus may grapple with self-assertion, paralyzed by the fear of seizing control over her own fate. Yet, when these energies are acknowledged rather than buried, they transform into a wellspring of formidable strength. This brings us to one of the most profound truths that Jung uncovered to truly discover yourself. You must accept every facet of your being, the light and the shadows, the masculine and the feminine, the familiar and the mysterious. Individuation isn't about transforming into something new. It's about achieving wholeness. Yet, there remains one final piece to this intricate puzzle, one last insight that binds everything together, and it may be the most poignant of all. The greatest barrier to self-discovery is not merely fear, self-doubt, or societal expectations. It is something much deeper, something woven into the very essence of how we view reality. In the next segment, we will unveil this truth. What you are about to learn may shatter everything you believed about yourself, and it could alter the course of your life forever. Throughout this exploration, we have delved into the unseen forces that shape your identity, the masks you don, the shadows you hide, and the archetypes that guide your thoughts and actions. But now we must face the most profound illusion of all, the illusion of self. Most individuals navigate life under the assumption that their identity is fixed, that they are a singular, unchanging self moving through time, molded by memories and experiences. However, Jung, along with many esteemed philosophers and mystics, recognized a radical truth: the self is not a static construct. Many individuals journey through life under the impression that their identity is fixed, believing they are a singular, unchanging self shaped solely by memories and experiences. Yet, Jung, along with numerous profound thinkers and mystics, recognized a more unsettling truth: the self is not a rigid entity. It is fluid, constantly evolving, and far more expansive than we have been led to understand. What if the version of yourself that you cling to now is merely a fragment of something much grander? What if the person you perceive yourself to be is just one manifestation of an infinite consciousness that has been developing for centuries, across countless lifetimes, enriched by inherited wisdom and experience? Jung delved into this notion through the concept of the self, not the small, ego-driven self that clings to labels and fears, but the true self, the entirety of who you are beyond the illusions of identity. This realization is both liberating and haunting, for it suggests that everything you have come to believe about yourself, all the fears, the limitations, the narratives you construct, are not the complete truth. They are merely a fragile construct, a temporary framework created by the mind. And here lies the most poignant truth of all: you are not just a solitary being navigating through life. You are a vast, interconnected field of consciousness, harboring within you the wisdom of generations, the depths of the unconscious, and the potential for transformation that surpasses imagination. Yet, if this is indeed the case, why do we often feel so confined and alone? Why do we endure suffering, doubt, and fear? The answer can be found within the ego. The ego is not our adversary. It merely represents that part of our mind that fosters a sense of separation, whispers to us, "This is who I am, and this is who I am not." It constructs barriers, delineates boundaries, and keeps us bound to familiar routines. While the ego has its role, it also stands as the greatest hindrance to self-discovery. For in reality, we are not confined to a singular identity. We are beings in a state of perpetual change, and the moment we release our grip on the notion of who we believe we are, we open ourselves to endless possibilities. But how can we achieve this? How can we transcend the illusion of self and embrace the fullness of our existence? Jung proposed a path, one that demands courage, profound introspection, and a willingness to relinquish everything we thought we understood about ourselves. First, we must embrace the unknown. Many fear the unknown because it embodies uncertainty, yet it is within this unknown that growth takes place. It is where transformation unfolds. When we cease to resist the mysteries that lie within us, and instead approach them with curiosity, we begin to perceive the world and ourselves through a different lens. Second, we must let go of our attachment to labels. We are not merely our names. We are not just our jobs, our pasts, or our personalities. We are something far beyond any definition. In this journey, we may find ourselves feeling lost and alone, grappling with the weight of our identities as we seek to break free. Yet, it is in this struggle that we may ultimately discover the beauty of our true selves. When you release rigid identities, you open up space for something greater to arise. Next, pay attention to the unconscious. Your dreams, instincts, and profound intuitions are not mere coincidences. They are messages from your inner self, guiding you toward wholeness. The more you listen, the more you will start to notice patterns, synchronicities, and signs that direct you toward your authentic path. Lastly, embrace the journey. Discovering yourself is not a final destination. It's not something you accomplish and then forget. It is a continuous journey, revealing deeper layers of truth. Recognizing patterns, synchronicities, and signs that guide you toward your true path is essential. And ultimately, surrendering to the process is key. You are never truly lost. You have always been present. The self you have been searching for has been within you all along, waiting to be acknowledged. Now, the choice is yours. Will you continue to live as a mere fragment of your true self, constrained by old fears and illusions? Or will you step into the unknown, embracing the vast, limitless being you were meant to be? Life truly begins when you find yourself, and now you know the way.